Now, you've mentioned something interesting here is like you've mentioned the reference to like balancing multiple areas of life and specifically health, which we didn't ask any questions on here. Like you've brought that in. So I'm wanting to understand in your work you do and what you found with the people you work with, does someone improving their health lead to better relationships and better wealth? Like, is there something where balance becomes a requirement? And I guess you could take this to the extreme. If someone's really unhealthy, it would be like, well, it would be hard to be a good partner if you can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
But it's like,
or get it
even
up.
to the yeah, but like, what's your view on this? Is like health and fitness a key requirement on having a great relationship as well? Or we'll call it spirituality, whether someone meditates or walks or whatever they do?
Absolutely. I mean, you can build massive wealth without being healthy and having shit relationships. But what's the purpose of it then? You know, like if you get cancer like Steve Jobs did, or if your wife leaves you like so many men, then you're going to be sitting there with your dollars just trying to kiss them and hug them and realize there's no love coming back at you. So they're completely and utterly connected. Our most successful clients, they make a lot of money, but they're low on energy and they're forcing. There's force versus power, right? When you come from a place of power, you are energized, you're weaponized, your mind is bulletproof, you're able to handle stress. You can make just as much money not being in that place, but it's less enjoyable. And you'd think that when you're healthy physically and mentally, you're less reactive to the world. So as human beings, there are 4 things we can really control. We can't control the government. We can't control business deals. We can put to an element, we can influence things, but we can't control anything external outside of ourselves, right? We all had a business deal fall through, a shitty client, etc. What you can control is your thoughts, feelings, actions, and reactions. So the things that go on up here, whether they're positive or negative, the feelings, you have happiness, joy, pride, power. Then you have like stress, anxiety, very common for business owners. Those are feelings. And then actions are the things you do. Do you drink at the end of the day, even though you made a lot of money because you can't switch off? Or do you go and play with the kids? And then reactions are the things we react to in the world. So as an example, you got 2 men or women. One wakes up, they get stuck in traffic. They're fine. They feel great. They come home. It's been a stressful day. They sit down, they play with the kids, they talk to the wife. That man, I guarantee, is healthier physically and mentally than the guy who gets in that traffic and starts swearing, getting triggered as shit, comes home, yells at the kids. The health has a massive role to play in that. So how you show up physically and mentally is going to make you more money. It's going to create better relationships. And also, I'm assuming a lot of business owners have families. That's why we work so hard. You become a better role model. Right? Because if you can make that paper and grow and provide for your family while also looking great, feeling great, communicating well with your wife, that sets a massive example for your children. I didn't have that. So if you can be that person, healthy physically and mentally, it's going to impact every area of your life.
I'm curious. Does it always take some crisis or for us to push our partners to that degree for them to say something to sort of trigger the change?
No, I mean, you could listen to a podcast like that. There's 2 ways to change. You can learn from your own lessons and failures and pains and triumphs, or you can learn from others. That's why this is so amazing. Because somebody can hear this and go, holy shit, this is a blind spot. I'm going to go home and tell my wife that I've been working way too hard and I'm committed to date night again. Or you could not listen to this blind spot. You go home and a year from now, she says, I don't know if I love you anymore, right? So you don't need a crisis. We've got a friend downstairs, a videographer staying with us, and he's the most traumaless guy I know. He's got no trauma. He was raised well. He knows about money. He's 24. He acts like a 40-year-old who's mature, and he's got no trauma. He doesn't need a crisis. I have a lot of trauma. I had a lot of problems. That's why I work so hard to prove myself, because I don't feel like anything's ever enough. I'm not good enough. I need more. So for me, it's often a crisis that I need, but I'm working on that. This is why I'm here with you, and this is why I listen to content like this.
I liked your point about date night. So imagine that it wasn't a crisis that triggered someone. Like someone listening to this and they're like, oh, well, I haven't seen sort of the cockroaches in the kitchen yet. Like there's no crisis for me to go. Is there an ideal routine or habits that everyone should sort of implement? I know that you said date night there. Is that, do we just do like a Thursday night date night, check it off and go, woo, my relationship's good?
That's not that simple, right? Because it's about quality, not quantity. So it's like
I can go to better restaurants, Tony. I genuinely can. Yeah. Like I can up it.
You can.
And what? You sit on your phone the entire time.
Yeah.
High price, Tony.
It is we're at the restaurant. That is the win. It is checked off.
Yeah, I've paid for it, right? No, it's a really good question actually, because it's not as simple as just check boxes, right? So as a principle we teach is daily deposits. And if we're going to talk specifically about relationships, it comes down to them feeling loved. So you may or may not have heard of love languages. You know, everyone's got a different way of giving love and receiving love. So for me, I give love by working hard for my family. That's an act of service. I want my wife to tell me how good of a job I'm doing. She's not very good at that. She's working on it.
I relate
but she'll
to
make
this.
me dinner, you know? Sometimes I just wanted to say, you know what? I can see how hard you're working. Doesn't happen often, right? So the best way to establish this is to make daily deposits into your children and your partner of their love language. So for example, Rosie, it's acts of service. So yes, I can take her to date night, but just as important is helping put Talia to bed and bathing her when Rosie's had a long day. Now my ego gets in the way and I'm like, yeah, I worked all day. I put out 72 fires. You were at home cooking and cleaning, not being disrespectful. Like she's agreed to have that role. She can do whatever she wants. If she wants to start a business, go for it. So the ego gets in the way. I'm like, no, even though I'm tired, I'm going to give a daily deposit of acts of service. Today I'm taking her to lunch. And if you can do that daily, you build up their bank balance. So relationships break down because the bank balance becomes so empty that your partner loses certainty of a future. You do not get divorced if there's a glimmer of hope that it can work. So it's been going on for so long, you're grinding, you come home late, you're on your phone, you don't communicate, you argue, you drink, whatever it may be. The relationship rift gets so wide and there's no balance in that bank. And then you try and withdraw something. So as hardworking men, I try and withdraw sex. Sounds horrible. I don't mean like she's a bank, but I'm like, I've worked hard. Let's get jiggy with it. She's like, I got nothing, man. So you make these daily deposits and you fill up their bank and you do it with the expectation of nothing in return. It will take you 5 minutes and choose one thing to do a day. It can be simple. Write them a note. Tell them you love them. Send them an SMS of a flower saying, I know this is cheesy, but you're just as beautiful as this flower. And if you do that daily for a month, watch what happens to your relationship. And it's not hard. If you're planning your week as a business owner, add this in. A daily deposit.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.